I was just over at my local thrift store, and I was able to pick up a nail polish UV hardening light. So I've got my own personal one, so I can do my nails if I wish. To show that this thing does work, here's one of the test strips. Stick it in there, pull it out, and yeah, that thing was bright to get it that color that quickly. So it's UVA only, no UVC, which is what I would kind of hope. So what I'm going to do is take it apart and see what's inside it. But first off, I'll unplug it. Oh, maybe what I should do is check to see if it's got a timer on it. What I'll do is click, and then what I'll do is fast forward through it and I'll measure the time. I'm pretty sure it has a timer built in. So I think it's about 45 seconds. Now I can unplug it and take it apart. Here's the power cord. I'm going to adjust where my camera is. And there's the price of shame, $6.99. And if there's too much of my back hands in this, I will fast forward over this. Oh, it's actually got magnets on the bottom. Probably because if they're doing it in a tray or something, they want it to stick and not move around. Looks like one of the magnets is missing or has fallen inside of it. Now, I'm kind of figuring this thing should be pretty simple, but I've been wrong in the past. Okay. Let's get the shiny surface away. Oh boy. I'm just going to pull the camera down to it. Okay, there's the power supply. And I'll take it out in a moment to get a closer look. And I'll have to take this apart to see what they're using in there for a timer. So, I'll start disassembling. And we'll start by looking at the board in the top. This looks like it's glued in, so I think what I need to do is simply pop out the button. Like that. That was so delicately done. Okay, 2 springs. They were probably there and there. So now I can take this board out and take a look at it. I might have to reassemble this part afterwards, because I'm pretty sure the board doesn't come out with all those wires hooked up to the bottom. So on this side, we have the button. We have a couple capacitors. And I'm going to have to zoom down. Okay, there's the top of the board. 4.7 microfarads. And the other one is 22 microfarads. And of course, the push button. What I'm going to do is flip this over and bring the camera down to it. Well, bonus time for this one. Normally when you flip it over, you either got a blob or you've got a chip that's had everything erased off of it. In this case, the numbers are all there. So that chip right there is the HT48R002, and I was even able to find the specs on it and a complete PDF. It's an 8-bit microcontroller, one-time programming, 1K by 14 of program memory, 64 by 8 RAM, watchdog timers, runs at 8 megahertz, lots of input-output. And I've already done a schematic for it, and I'll switch to it in a moment once I finish with other chips. This here is a D882. Seen that one before. It's an NPN transistor, 30 volts, 3 amps. It's a SOT89 package. The rest are insignificant little components. And the switch is here. It's a momentary switch. And what it does, well, let's get to the schematic. Okay, here's a schematic for it. Chips over here. Coming up from the power supply, you got 11.82 volts until you turn the lights on, and it drops down to 9.58. Capacitor number 1, that's just the chip 1, 10.4. Then we got an electrolytic, 22 microfarads. Then the 05T, it's a regulator. 5 volts out on this side. Another smoothing capacitor, 4.7. Then 10.4, 10.4, 10.4. This one is actually, they took the leads right underneath the chip and stuck it on the other side for some reason. Then we have the chip. So we got power into pin 1, ground's over on pin 8, and then we have pin 6, where the momentary switch is. You push the button, and this thing's all powered up. As soon as you pull this down here, it signals the chip that, hey, it's time to do something. At which point, it then activates pin 2, pulling this high. That goes high. The D882 then starts conducting. Over here, we come down over. We've got 16 strings of 3 LEDs on each, and I'll show a picture of it in a moment, which comes back through a resistor of 0 to here. Here's the collector. There's the emitter going back to ground. So when I was looking at the board, there were pin 3 not connected, pin 4 not connected. Pin 5, it had a place but nothing there. Pin 7 had a place but nothing there. And what those are, and I'll put the board back up in the corner there, is the timing. You can pick between, I think it was 30, let me take a look. 30, 45, or 60 seconds, depending on which one of those spots you populated. And this one's populated for 45 seconds. So, cute little design there. And the fact that they had all the parts where I could read them, and that's a change. So here's the LEDs. It's in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So on the top here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're all in parallel. So 6 groups of 3. On the sides here, there's 3 in a row here, 3 here, 2 sets of 3 here. I think it's 2 sets of 3 back there. Yep. 2 and repeating again. So it turns out to be 16 sets of 3 in series. And that's how they did it. Now, for the power supply, and I'm not going to get too far into it since the video is getting a bit long. So here's the power supply, and unfortunately I can't find this chip here. It's a reactor micro. I'll put the number up in the corner. Oh, I almost got it there. RM, maybe a J or a 3, 26IS. But essentially, you've got AC coming in over here, goes through the fuse. There's a bridge diode right there. MB65, I think. Then all of this is probably supporting for that chip in there. You've got an inductor here. And then your output on this side. So maybe it's like a switching power supply, but all the magic's done right in there. So that's it for this video, and I can now do my nails if I wanted to. Not likely. Have a good day. Bye.